Ooh. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. So, I wanted to go live really, really quick because I had the time really fast to explain a little bit through the Mercury Retrograde and then just what it's talking about, and in general, having a degree in family and what that means and what it means for us to know how to know what it's like to support somebody else and have somebody support us and all of those. Peace and love. Peace and love. I don't even want to ruin your name. Amical. Ooh, I think I said it right. Peace and love. Peace and love. So this is just, like I say, having a degree in family. I have my light on. It's a little lamp. So it has me looking kind of pink. But I might have to cut my light on. All is well. But peace and love. So the Mercury retrograde, and anybody who don't catch this can share it. I mean, can watch it later or share it or however. And share this, y'all. Share it, share it, share it. So the Mercury retrograde is talking about our thoughts. It's talking about how we learn. It's talking about how we take in information and all of that. And it's talking about how we have to go backwards, and like I always say, it's unfinished business. You're having a pause right now, and you're taking a retest in something in life right now. And the Mercury retrograde starts today. Now, I'm talking about the Mercury retrograde, but don't forget, you guys, that Pluto is retrograding, Venus is retrograding, Jupiter is retrograding, Saturn is retrograding. So it's already 4 of the planets retrograded, and so a lot of people may have already been feeling some type of pull in their life, or feeling like things are not going in their favor, or been collecting whatever it is that they are supposed to be collecting as these planets are pausing and letting you go back to get the grades you're supposed to get, your real grade in life. So I always say this is like midterms. This is a time right now to, with relationships, with jobs, with your money and all of that, to go back and get something. Go back and fix things. Go back and collect what is yours. All right. And like I say, it's a rewind. It's a rewind of your life. So we rewinding. So we about to go back through some things that have already happened, and it's giving you a chance to decide if this is what you want for yourself or not. So that's why it goes back to your overall foundation, and this goes to your degree in family, which a lot of us don't have. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. David, peace and love, Monique. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, and everybody who's to come. But so it's talking about your overall foundation with your family. So Cancers, sun sign Cancers, moon sign Cancers, ascendant, if you have Cancer in your ascendant, and it's about to be Cancer season in the next few days. So this is talking about that, because we're about to be putting a lot of focus and a lot of light on Cancers, and Cancer represents our family. Cancer represents women in our life specifically, or very nurturing men in our lives. We're talking about familiar faces. So not always people who are related to us, people that we relate to, people that you can let come in your house, people that you let in your front door, or however in life. These are also people that you can release around, relax around, people you feel comfortable around. And we're talking about the support you need and how you need to adjust your seat in life. And this is talking about people that you might have to go back through to see, talk to, connect with, however, conversations that might need to be had, text messages that might need to go through, emails that might need to go through. All of that is some things and people, like I say, that can help you, that's going to be a part of your success eventually. Mercury is talking about where you plant your seeds, but Mercury is also talking about the maintenance of your seeds. So Mercury is also talking about, watering your soil. And so Mercury is Gemini and Virgo, which is what it rules. And so you're talking about your nervous system, and you're talking about your digestive system and how they relate to each other and how they can be a challenge to each other. So you want to talk about your health as well, and how they overall affect that, and the people you tie yourself into. Okay, because Cancer is talking about your parasympathetic system. So it's talking about your emotions and things that you may have fear about, or things you may feel intuitively. that might affect you overall. And you have to make sure that you can trust yourself on the things that you feel like you feel, because sometimes when you're unstable, you think you're feeling something that's not real or true, or you think you'll feel something about somebody that is not real or true. Sometimes we're not in a stable place. And so we're coming from a place of instability when we're talking about lack of trust and things like that with people in our life and in our relationships. You also want to talk about your weight and how it affects our weight. Cancer is talking about your stomach, all right? And it also talks about your chest, your breast. So it's talking about your diet and how you eat. And that goes back to your overall comfort level. So a lot of people might be overeating, or some people may not be eating at all. But Cancer is also 180 degrees away from Capricorn. Capricorn is talking about how much restrictions, how many limitations you have. So I would call Capricorn your diet, and Cancer is where you don't have the restrictions. Cancer is what makes you comfortable. So Cancer would be like the snacks in life. So Capricorn would be like your restriction and your boundaries and where you say no. And this is also an area that's going to make you very, very successful moving forward. So like I say, wherever you have aspects of Cancer, if you are a sun sign Cancer, you definitely want to hear this, because we're about to go into your sun sign and also into your season, and we're going to be retrograding here. So there's dealing with memories and things that happened in the past, things that have made you uncomfortable, things we need to really, really look deeper into, things we need to learn further about. We're learning about our family. We're learning about our roots. This is also because Venus is retrograding. This is people you might connect to, people you might be dating. This is a time to go a little bit deeper. Know about their family. Know about their family roots. Know about their family life. And a lot of us don't do that. You have to even think about baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, and all of that now. How we didn't learn more about somebody or their family or their roots or what kind of people they were before we connected with them and had children with them. And so that's why a lot of us say, well, if we knew then what we know now, this is a time where we look back at things like that. Depending on your age, this is some things that have happened in the past few years. So a lot of people may be in their, I would say in their 20s. Some things that may have happened in the past couple of years or so. If you're anything between 20 and 24 to 30, these are things that happened in the past 5 years. Anybody older than that, these are things that have happened in the past couple of years. Since you were around, 32 or so. Anybody in their late 30s. So think about that. People you dated and all of those things. Memories. Some of those people might be coming back in contact with you. Some of those people, like I say, have unfinished business because everybody is retrograding. It doesn't mean you're going to get back with these people. It doesn't mean they want you back. It might be some things that need to be said. It might be some things that need to be moved around as far as energy. And so think about that. Old friends, old clients, if you were a client of somebody, because this is also places where you were gaining services or where you were giving services. So this is a time where you can mend things financially, or however, if people needed to go to court or anything like that, this is a time where you might not even have to go to court. You can really work things out. Cancer deals with being relatable. So that's why it goes back to being familiar and being around other people and looking at them like family. A lot of people goes back to your degree in family. If you don't have a proper degree in family, you don't even know how to be a good friend. You don't know how to be a good husband, a good wife, or anything. And a lot of us haven't learned how to be a proper friend, a proper sister, any of those things, brother, any of those things, because we didn't learn that from our family. A lot of us were in households where every man was for himself, or however. So a lot of us still live our life like that in survival mode, because we were living in survival mode within our own family. And some of us still live like that around our own family. You hiding your stuff, you putting up your money and things like that. You don't trust anybody. And because you may have been violated by your own family. So that goes back to some people's trust issues altogether. So that's why it takes away from somebody being a proper friend or knowing how to support somebody else, because their own family didn't support them. So you only give what you get, and you can only show somebody what you've been shown. And so, when you come across these trifling friends and people who don't know how to be a good friend or don't know how to have your back or anything like that, you have to think about what kind of family they came from. Not everybody was raised the same way. These friends who are really petty about a couple of dollars, or you owe them, or friendships that can end over $20, $40, things like that, petty things. You have to think about somebody's degree and family. Some people were raised in a family, my money is your money. So they give you money, they do something for you, they don't even think about ever getting it back. It's just rotated in the family. It's just family energy. That's just what we do. But I know because we related, one day it's just gonna come back if I need it. We don't have to remember. We don't have to keep track of what I did for you and what you did for me. But there are some people in their families that's how they live. Some people, even with their own mama, daddy, whoever, they borrow $10, they need to get that $10 right back to them quick. And some people know not to even ask their family to borrow money. So that even goes back to their pride when it comes to their friends, even to ask somebody for money or knowing when to pay somebody back. Just simple little things like that. But some people, don't even think about it because they don't think about it with their family. So you have two people in relationships, marriages, and all of those things who are raised differently on how to have somebody else's back, or if you even have somebody else's back, which is why a lot of marriages end or friendships end or whatever. Y'all weren't raised the same. You weren't raised to think about somebody else before you think about yourself, or you weren't raised to, give somebody your last and not think about it. Some people you have to think about too, going back to this Mercury in Cancer with the retrograde, because it's still just life. So anybody who's not even into astrology, just listen for life. It's still life. And you're going to see how it manifests anyway. But you have to think about too, people who do things for you. A lot of us get abused with things and get abused with favors from other people who do things for us. But that goes back to some people, you're borrowing things or you're getting favors or you're getting things done for you for people who don't have it in their account. And so some people don't have control in their life, and that's the only control they have. The whole control they get out of their whole life is when you ask them for something, which is why some people abuse you with the things that they do for you. All right, and that goes back to, that's a low self-esteem, that's a low account. Okay, and you asking somebody who account is in a negative for something, they gonna be on you real hard, and they gonna let everybody know what they did for you. And that goes back to no degree in family, because family, when you have somewhere to stay and when you're not homeless with your spirit, you have a comfortable place to be when it's something that you need. A lot of people they're not in comfort when it's something that they need, because they know that there's nobody to provide it, or they know if there is somebody that's going to provide it, everybody going to know about it. And you have to even think about that, even going back to some people's relationship with their mom. Some people's relationships are completely sabotaged, or don't even trust other people, literally just in their relationship with their parents. Your mom, your aunt, and people like that, people of authority in our lives who tell your business. Okay, and so that goes back to, you don't even trust other females, or you don't trust people and things like that, but you've been torn apart and torn to shreds, and your business has been put out in these streets from your own family. So it makes you not want to relate to anybody. And so it really does bruise a lot of us in our relationships in general. So this Mercury in Cancer is pretty much telling you to learn about your roots. Learn why your mama acts like that. Learn if your mama is your worst enemy or whatever, learn why. Learn why she don't like you. Learn what happened in her life to see what she's passing on to you and why she might be making you uncomfortable. This is for men and women. Same thing for men. Some men have that same competitive relationship going back and forth with their fathers. And so you have to realize and just think about it and go to your roots of why your relationship with other men is the way it is. I always say you got to go back to where you came from, your parents. And a lot of them have done more damage than you think. Yeah, our parents have done a lot for us. But the thing is, that goes back to our parents abusing their authority, and so now a lot of us have been abused by authority in general and don't even know our own rights. Our parents have been sometimes your biggest bullies. So that's why I say look at your overall foundation and what you're standing on. A lot of people don't have self-esteem or don't have proper support and a lot of those things because of their actual family. And some people have it because of their family. It just depends on where you're coming from. So that goes back to the kind of person that you are. And and if you're a stable person in your relationships all together. Some people don't have long friendships. Some people don't have long friendships at all. They don't even have long relationships. Some people can't be with somebody. Some people are just enjoy people. A lot of people can't be in long-term friendships, all of that. They just meet people along the way. But that also says that somebody is homeless in their own body. They don't feel comfortable with themselves. They're never stable with anybody. And that goes back to their relationship with their family. So Mercury in Cancer is pretty much telling you to learn about yourself. Learn about the roots of your tree. Also, it's telling you to going back through your memories. And it's giving you a chance to go backwards and replay some things, conversations and all of that with people and all of that, to see if this is the way you wanted things to go, is this the way you wanted things to end. And it's on the professional level, it's giving everybody a chance to connect with people that can really help you move forward with your success. You have to remember that Jupiter is going backwards. Jupiter is retrograded, and Uranus is also retrograded, and Jupiter is retrograding in Capricorn, which opposes Cancer. And so now Mercury is, going backwards in Cancer. So what you're doing is learning what you need to learn about your roots, learning what you need to learn about your overall foundation. And when I say that, it's also learning how to eat at home. When you learn how to eat at home, you're not going to be taken advantage of by other people when it comes to success. So that goes back to having that degree in family, knowing where your roots are, being, steady and rooted, but also being able to be completely free and having your freedom and your emotions, and being cultivated in everything you know about yourself. Because the thing is, when you don't eat at home and you go out in life and you're trying to be successful, it's easy for you to be taken advantage of. It's easier for somebody to just put something on the table and you just eat whatever's given there because you're starving. So when you have good, strong roots, and it goes back to your stomach, when you eat well at home, mentally, physically, and spiritually, you can go into any situation and be more selective about what's put in front of you. On a personal level, whether it's a man or a woman, and you're talking about dedicating yourself to somebody, marriage, or however, or on a professional level, when you're talking about connecting yourself through a contract and marrying someone through business, or however, the same thing. Because when somebody can see it and smell it in you that you lack boundaries, and when somebody can tell that you're not strong and you don't know self, people can just offer you anything. And that even goes back to your contracts and your contacts. You can't be starving and you can't be shopping in life hungry. You can't be shopping on an empty stomach for love, for money, for success, or any of those things. Because when you're shopping on an empty stomach, I'm telling you, you're going to put stuff in your basket that you can't afford. You're going to put something in your basket that you wouldn't normally put in there. You're just starving. You're just throwing stuff in there. And by the time you get to the checkout, you don't even want half of that stuff. By the time you get home, you don't want that stuff. You don't need that stuff. You can't afford that stuff. That person, that place, that thing. So that's why you write out a grocery list, right? Which just goes back to you manifesting, and which goes back to your full moon and your new moon and all of that. You're manifesting what you want, and you're writing out your grocery list. And so you have a very strict list about what it is that you want in your life, who it is that you're bringing into your life, and all of those things. So you're not easily misled, and there are no distractions. Okay, which a lot of distractions are taking place with that Mars and Pisces still happening. So you got to think about all of that, y'all. A lot of things can really, take away from everything that you're working for. Gossip, misleading conversation, not checking your signals, in life, internally. Where should I turn? Should I stay in this lane? Should I go in this lane? We really need to follow that so you'll know what kind of decisions to make, what kind of things to do for yourself. So by the time that the Mercury goes back direct, you have your plan, you have everything that you want for yourself, and you can really move forward. So I also wanted to say with that, anybody that was going on a diet or anything like that, awesome time to go back and get whatever you were trying to collect. So in the past month and a half or so, which a lot of us, that goes back to the quarantine and everything, a lot of people were inside. So I've been hearing about the quarantine 15, so a lot of people may have gained weight. So this is a time to really get your body back on track, get your health back on track, because a lot of us were inside, at home, eating, not really being able to be physical, not really being able to go anywhere. So this also goes back to your health. This also goes back to your nerves, which was why I say your nervous system, getting things in order, meditation, eating greens, all of that. Anytime you're talking about an air sign, you're talking about meditation, you're talking about looking up. When you're talking about an earth sign, you're talking about looking down, but you're also talking about the earth, you're talking about fruits, you're talking about vegetables, you're talking about your diet. And so because Mercury is retrograding in Cancer, it's also telling you to go back on your memories and things like that, because Cancer is water. Memories, things that you need to reflect on. It's definitely talking about reflection. It's talking about at your sacral chakra, regenerating, reunions, bringing things back together between you and other people, you relating to other people, you cozying up. I know around this time, June, July, August, that time is always when people are doing family reunions and things like that. So that's also going back to reunions and reconnecting with people. But this is friends, family, and however, because people have it in different areas in your chart. So, this is a really just good time to collect yourselves, lock your doors in life, lock your doors in your vehicle, so that when you're going, you're not worried about anybody and anything just getting in. And that's the biggest thing with Cancer. It can spread everywhere, but it also can just let anything in. So this is why you have to be very disciplined at a time like this, so you can really catch and see the people that's for you and see what's against you too. And sometimes your own emotions can be what's against you. So that's why this is also a time to deal with your emotions, your inner self. Like I say, at your sacral chakra, really dig in, really, see what you need to clear out and release whatever you need to release, and be around people who allow you to release and allow you to be you. This is also talking about the stomach, going back to get something. Anybody who may have, because it's going back to the stomach and the breast and mothering and all of that, second chances, this is babies, this is all of those things. So any missed periods, anything like that, we're about to have this new moon in Cancer. So this is new beginnings with the family, new beginnings with the body, new beginnings when it comes to, fruit and bearing fruit, new beginnings for your root and for your home. So think about that, new babies, new things like that. And it doesn't have to be a physical baby. This could be a mental baby. So this is why you're going back to get an idea. You're going back to get a lot of different things. But some people could physically, depending on your aspects, it could be a baby. It could be something that you're trying to manifest. It could have been something that you've been trying to push through for a very long time. Peace and love, Shanta. Peace and love, Portia. Peace and love, Janella. Yes, new beginnings. I'm going to go live on that night, too. That's actually in a couple of days. That's on Sunday night, I believe, the new moon in Cancer. So those are new beginnings for our families, new beginnings for our homes, new beginnings also for our businesses, because these are new people that we're connecting to. Because like I say, we're retrograding with that Saturn and Aquarius, so we're going through the crowd, people that we know, people that can build onto our business, people who sound like us, look like us, all of those things. Because like I say, in business, all you're trying to do is look for yourself. All you're trying to do is find yourself. And your target audience is you. So, women who look like you, women who need the things you need, women who work the schedule you work, or have children, or whoever you are, men who do the things you do, or whatever, that's your demographic. Like, that's you. You're looking for you. And so, same thing in love. You're looking for yourself. So that's why it's easier to, going back to the spirit and going back to the breath, to be in love and rise in love with somebody who breathes the same as you, somebody that your breathing doesn't change around. And I say that all the time because we always think that when our heart is beating fast and we getting all excited, that it's somebody that we're in love with or we're falling in love with. Yeah, you falling, and that's the thing. You don't want to fall in love. You want to rise in love. So you want somebody who you guys are breathing the same, and that you're not too nervous around, and that you just feel just quite okay with. And those are usually what? Your family, friends, somebody you grew up with, somebody you've been knowing your whole life, your homeboy, your homegirl, which is why people always end up marrying those people. People that you breathe quite okay with, and your breathing is just the same as if they weren't in the room, the same way if they were in the room. Like your breathing don't change at all whether they there or not. So that lets you know that that's somebody that you connected to. So you have to pay attention to your body. I would say in general, pay attention to your body for the next 5 to 6 weeks anyway, because going back to your parasympathetic system is always going to be sending you signals and letting you know if something is right or wrong in your life. It lets you know if you're in danger or not. And that goes back to if you're unstable, those people who are unstable always feel like something is wrong. So those are people who are always having some type of breakdown or always panicky. But people who are very stable and have a strong foundation can tell when something's not right. And so it's easy for them to trust themselves in situations where your body is telling you something, spirit is telling you something, and you can get out of a situation a lot faster. So that's why I say this is a good time to know yourself, know your roots, and be okay with what you learn about yourself. If you don't like this or you don't like that, be okay with it. And that's also how you find your friends. That's also how you find your mate, when you're honest with yourself and you're not mad at yourself and you're not ashamed about what it is you do or don't like. You know, if you don't like a man that has children, be okay with that and don't feel ashamed of that, and don't let anybody make you feel bad if that's not what you want. Even if you have children, because very likely you have your reasons of why that's not what you're looking for. And the same thing with men. If you have children or whatever the situation is and you don't like women who do this or that or whatever, feel okay with that. We'll let society tell us what we like. And that's why we end up with people we don't want to be with, because society will tell us what we should be with. We have to be assertive about what works for us. And don't let anybody talk you out of what is right or wrong for you. Because, you know, ain't nobody going to take places with you when it's time for you to die and be like, oh, well, I want to argue about that. They ain't going to argue then. So don't let anybody argue about your life, because they're not about to argue with you about your death. Okay? So have it your way. You really can. And don't be ashamed about what works for you. If you have to have, you know, some men really want a woman who's at home who doesn't work. And some men are scared to say that because you got some people that will argue them down. But if that's what works for you, you got to put that out in the universe, that you want a woman that you can take care of, that's going to take care of the house. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you have to be vocal about what it is you want, and that's your relationship with yourself. So that's why I say explore yourself, what you do and don't like. And like I say, explore any of your personal interests, explore their family. And don't wait till it's too late. Don't be dating somebody 6, 8 months, a year, and you never met their family, and then you finally meet their family, or you thinking about popping a question and you realize, you know, they some thugs, they hood, you know what I mean, or whatever, or they snobby, or whatever it is. You want to know what it is about somebody right now. You want to know what type of people you're going to connect with. And it's even your friends. You want to know about their family. You want to know where they come from. You want to know how they move, how they think like that, or whatever. And so, like I say, not everybody has the same degree in family. Not everybody moves the same way when it comes to their family. Some people don't even fool with their family. You get what I'm saying? And you might very well deal with your family. And so everybody is at different degrees, and not everybody has one when it comes to your culture, when it comes to cultivating, when it comes to being free, when it comes to having a square. Not a lot of people even have one. And so that even goes back to the actual sign Cancer. It's a crab. It's always, you know, at home. Why? Because it carries its home on its back. So that's why it's always looking for a comfort level, but it's always looking for stability. I said level. And it's always looking for stability. It carries its home on its back, and then it covers itself with its shell. So it's very, very soft on the inside, hard on the outside. But like I say, crabs at their lowest self, when they are not stable, think about a crab missing a leg or whatever. They wobbling. All right, that's instability. So they're quicker to what? Pinch you. They're meaner when they're not stable and when they feel like they're under threat. So you have to think about cancers in general. When they feel like they're under threat, that's when they get very clingy. They can get very mean. They can snap at you. And this is everybody right now as we're retrograding. Moodiness and all of that, right? Because the water and the tide is moving around a lot. And with this retrograding through Cancer, you have to think about every position of the moon, you know, for the next 5 weeks. Every position of the moon is going to be changing every day because the moon moves every day. And so that's going to be affecting everybody every day. And like I said, it's going backwards to things that have already happened. So you're going to be really reliving situations that have already taken place. And like I say, the universe just wants to know, what's your answer? Let me turn on this other light. I just feel like I'm looking all red. It's this light I have on. I'm like, I'm like looking all red. Look, it's looking all like telling your fortune. Anyway, but it was looking a little creepy with that red light on. So yeah, you guys, the retrograde is gonna be letting you really relive stuff. And like I say, it's a really good pause. Pay attention to your phone. Pay attention to your computers. Pay attention to all your electrical devices. Because sometimes some things don't go through during the retrograde. So you got to think about it like our towers to your cell phone, literally and figuratively. I would say, your universal towers, it seems like they might be down. So that's why conversation is a little off during retrogrades, especially during a Mercury retrograde, because Mercury rules your communication and how you talk. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, Keitra. Peace and love, Maya. Peace and love, Leslie. Peace and love, Terrell. Peace and love, Aboye. Don't let me ruin your name. I apologize. Janella, I already seen you. Peace and love, Janella, again. I love you. Peace and love, Taryn. Peace and love, Shanta. Peace and love, everybody. So yeah. But Cancer ascendants. This is how you identify with family, how you identify with the world. You identify with the world feeling relatable. And so this is going to be a time where you guys are going to be wanting to, peace and love, sis, relate with the world, see people as a part of family. And it's saying because there are restrictions in your relationships that you need to get through, and you need to have boundaries in your relationship, especially if you have a Cancer ascendant. If you have a Cancer moon, what gets you to your comfort is people who make you feel comfortable or being the nurturer. So you're going to be more lovey-dovey, mother smother on your children, on other people's children, or with your friends. But you also might need that yourself if you're a Cancer moon, because a Cancer moon always needs to feel good. Cancer moon also deals with having a second mother. Anybody with a Cancer moon, I have a Cancer moon, so it's just saying I'm always looking for my mother, but then it's always saying that you're looking for your mother. You'll find another mother through your mother, because that just shows that somebody has a very emotional relationship with their mom. And it's also showing levels of abandonment. I'm telling my issues, levels of abandonment sometimes, or brokenness of a foundation with the mom. So it's just showing that this person is either going to be a very good mother, or this person is going to be always looking for their mother. So that a person's always looking for somebody to make them feel comfortable or to mommy them, because they've never had it. And so you have to think about that too. Females in relationships with men, and females in your relationships with other women, your friendships. Females that are very clingy, very emotional, always just kind of off, things like that. You have to think about that, because those are women. Not just men have them. Women have mommy issues. And I feel like sometimes women have bigger mommy issues than men do. Men have mommy issues. Women have daddy issues. But see, that I also feel like the daddy issues affect men sometimes more than it affects a woman. And the mommy issues affect a woman more than it affects a man, on a whole deeper level. Because it affects the type of woman and the type of mother and the type of wife and friend that a woman is going to be, based off of her relationship with her mother. And that's why I say a lot of women who don't trust their mama, who don't get along with their mama, have that competitive spirit, or their mom's always trying to take them out, and like that whole thing, that can either make you or break you. You're going to either be, God's gift to everybody, or you going to be a very unstable woman that don't nobody want to be around, because of how much, your mother tore into you. And same thing with, in your relationship with a man, you're going to be the same way. So, you got to really think about that. And I don't think a lot of mothers think about that when they saying stuff to their daughters. And I heard this saying one time, and I don't know, I kind of believe it to be true. But they say that mothers, they raise their daughters and they love their sons. And so, and I've seen that to be true, especially in the melanated community, where women, they let their sons pass for a lot of things, and they're very much harder on their daughters, and not even out of a respect thing. They just hard on their daughter just to be mean. It ain't even like because I love you. Sometimes it's just because of whatever personal issues they have with themselves, and whatever issues or whatever they have, their dealings with men, they tend to favor their sons over their daughters. And we're just like, alright, but your daughter is you. And a lot of women, sometimes they see that and they notice that. And so the thing is, like I say, just women are a lot tougher on their daughters. And that's why I say it's what you do or don't see in your daughter that is you. Some women know all about themselves, and that's why they're hard on their daughters. But some women lack knowledge of self. And so they're literally tearing into their daughter or sabotaging their daughter and don't realize it. So it's ignorance and intent with everything. It's ignorance and intent with everything. All is well. But think about people coming back into your life and just trying to fix stuff, mend stuff. Wanting to, people might want to get back together. It even could be jobs, you know, job opportunities, especially with a lot of restrictions, I guess, being changed with the corona. So it's a lot of job opportunities going back, and that's a part of that Jupiter retrograde, for you to go back and get some type of opportunity that's there for you, something that's there for you, money that's there for you. It could be the schedule that you were looking for. It could be the amount of money you were looking for. It could be the location that you were trying to move to, or whatever. So go back and get it. Go back and get it. Also, with the sun about to be in Cancer, because I'm not doing a video for that. With that, though, pay attention to the women in your family. Pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to your home, everybody, all of those things, because it's just showing there's some things we need to see. It's some things we need to see, which is why the light is there. And it's also showing that there are people that can really help you move forward. So that's why we're also retrograding. People in your family that you didn't think that would support you, people financially or just showing up that you think that wouldn't do it, they will do it. This is why you're going back to communicate with them. People that you don't think have connections, have them. People that you don't think would, you know, just be in your, just have your back. They do. And that's why it goes back to the conversations that we have to have and people that you can learn from. And if they're not family members, that's why I say they're familiar faces, or people who look like you, or people who, like I always say, have the same spiritual uniform on as you. Y'all just see things the same way, or you recognize something in them that's a lot like yourself. And those are the people that you flow with. And so, you know, your network, your net worth is your network, which is very true, but it's also who you can be family with. Because with success, you have to be relatable. Who can you be relatable? Who can you laugh and talk to with? And all of those things. And then being relatable, you still have to have boundaries. So those two big major parts of success is having boundaries, but still being relatable. And you got to be able to balance both. And a lot of people can't balance both. Some people stay having boundaries, and it's hard to touch them. It's hard to get to them, it seems like. But those are the people who lack the contacts and the contracts and the relationships with other people. When it's time for somebody to really support you, those are the people who don't really have it because ain't nobody talk to you, you know. But then there are some people who are too relatable, and when you're too relatable and too much into the crowd, now not a lot of people take you serious. So there has to be a little bit of a balance when it comes to success. You know, you want people to take you serious, but you want to be able to shake hands in the crowd too. You want to do a little bit of both. You want to be able to fellowship and talk to people and network with people in the break room, but you also kind of do want to be a little bit untouchable when it comes to your gift and what it is that you do, because you want to protect it, what it is that you're doing. So there's just a fine line with it. And so everything that you're going to learn with this retrograde is just going to get you right where you need to be. And that's why it's telling you to adjust your seat. And it's telling you to pay attention to the restrictions. And a lot of your restrictions could be new people and people that you don't know, which is why it's also telling you to use your intuition. Some of these people you know, some of these people you don't, in the next 6 weeks that you're going to meet, as far as business, personal, all types of ways. And not all of them are going to mean you know, well, you know, not all of them are going to have the best intentions. And so that's why you have to trust mama. And that's why when you're retrograding in Cancer, mama is going to have you every step of the way, because mama is going to be going back through every sign, every step of the way. So when your new moon in Cancer, you guys, when it starts to wax, set your intentions, do your grocery list, because she's going to the market, right? She'll be back when the moon is full. And this is where you get a glimpse of what it is that you're asking for, whatever it is that you want. Whatever it is that you were, whoever it is or whatever, those things, you'll see a glimpse of it, or you might get it, or however. So write your list for the market. Let her know what it is you want. Tell her what it is and be very specific. And we're not talking about what we don't want. You talk about everything that you do want. Because a lot of people mess up their order to the universe when you're talking about what you don't want. You always want to tell the universe what you do want. And that's it. You know, don't confuse it. And that's why I always say, too, you're a child, and stay in a child's place when it comes to the universe, or when it comes to God, or however. Why? Because when you're a child, when you were children, and even now, whoever celebrate Christmas or your birthday or whatever, and you get your child something, and when you were a child, you don't ask your mom, where you get this from? Where you get the money for this? Did you ask your mama that? No. So that's the same thing with the universe. You don't question where it's going to come from or how you're going to get it. You just write your list and tell your universe what you want. That's grown folks' business, okay? So anytime you're talking to God, you're talking to the divine or however, and you're talking about manifesting, it is not your business how it's going to get to you. It is only your business about what you want, okay? And so we got to know how to talk positive things into a negative universe. You speaking positive things, what will happen, what's gonna happen. And negative doesn't mean bad. Negative means to receive. Negative is the feminine energy of the universe. Positive is what we're giving to the universe. So this is why this is a certain way that you're speaking. So that's why I say, hey, you're a baby, okay? You're a child. You're very powerful. You ain't never paid bills in your life. None of us have. As much as you think you paying bills, you're not the one paying those bills. You're not the one making it happen. Okay, it's happening through you. Okay, and you keep it in your mind and you keep the routine of those things. But anything can change, right? So that's why we have to understand that you can have anything you want because you're not responsible. You don't have to worry about where it's coming from. Just get what it is that you want. Just put it down. Put a vibration to it. Write it down. That is your spell. And this is how you get the things that you ask for. Safety, all of those things, and you always ask for these things in the perfect way. Okay, so you ask for great health, great wealth, great love, great joy, great protection, great respect, great success, but you ask it in prosperity and in abundance and in the perfect way. We want it in a perfect way because you don't want anybody else to get hurt, anybody else to get cheated. You don't want anybody else to lose out for you to get the things that you ask for. You want things to happen in the perfect way, in the perfect timing. Because you can still get stuff that you ask for, somebody else's house, somebody else's wife or whatever, but it's not going to be in the perfect way. Somebody might have to die. Somebody might not have to lose something. Somebody else might have to lose something for the way you asked for it. So the universe is always going to come through for you. The universe doesn't know no. You get what I'm saying? But we have to give direction to this thing. And that's why I say the universe is your subconscious. The universe is your wife. So that's why even us as women have to utilize masculine energy when you're talking to your wife. The universe. You got to make sure. So this is why when you're in love with the universe, and I said this before, remember in the movie Coming to America, when he was talking to her and she was like, what kind of food you like? You know, he was like, and she was like, whatever kind of food you like. And he's like, you know, whatever you like. And she's like, whatever you like. That is what the universe repeats and echoes back, whatever you say. So you say, universe, you know, what you want to do tonight? The universe is like, whatever you want to do tonight. Universe is your wife. Your subconscious is only going to do whatever you told it to do. So this is why when you pray, meditate, and all of those things, your subconscious is only going to do whatever you told it to do. And sometimes even when we're speaking mindlessly and we're not thinking about what we're saying, she's still going to do whatever you told her to do because she was raised like that. Whatever you like. Whatever kind you like. You say bark like a dog, she bark like a dog. You tell the universe a big dog, the universe going to say okay. And the universe is going to bark like a big dog. Whatever you say, the universe will obey. And we have to be very, very mindful of our vibrations and our words. But very, very particular when we're talking about something that we most definitely want for ourselves. Okay, you want a baby, whatever it is, your business, make sure, I want my business like this, and I want it on this street, and I want this many employees, and I want to make this much per month, and I want these services, and I want that couch, and I want that desk. Be specific, write it down, and then be grateful before it even happens. And this is how you impress your subconscious, which is why I say that everybody want to impress each other. I ain't here to impress y'all. I impress my subconscious. I let my subconscious know, oh yeah, not only did I ask you for this, I'm grateful for it already. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you in advance. Matter of fact, I'm going to make space for it just so that I can have what it is. That's how much I know it's coming. This is how we impress our mind. And we let our mind know. And this is also your relationship with the divine, which is God. This is all you're doing is doing that and making sure that you get everything you want and focusing on those things. And of course, low vibrations, low frequency, the devil or however is always going to try to interrupt what you're doing. So that's why you have to think about that. As you're going through life, what is interrupting me from my bliss? Is this what I ordered? If that's not what you ordered, that's an interruption. That's a distraction. And so we have to know quickly what our distractions are. People, places, and things. A place you're not supposed to be, a person you're not supposed to be talking to, a thing you're not supposed to be doing. It's a distraction. And you'll know by how you feel in your body. And that's why only you can judge. And that's why only you have guilt. Only you can measure your guilt on how you feel about things. And that's your own body letting you know you messed up somewhere. That inner disappointment. So that's why I say you can't be disappointed by anybody else, because you shouldn't be appointing anybody else. You should only appoint yourself, so you can't be disappointed. Okay? Nobody can miss the appointment. Nobody can steer you wrong or make you mad or hurt your feelings. Nobody can do that but you. Don't put nobody anywhere higher than yourself, because you don't have time to be upset about what somebody else did wrong. And the people that you look up to and all those things, you have to give those people room to make mistakes, because everybody fucks up. And that's why it goes back to, you can't allow anybody else to disappoint you. Okay, and everybody has their own relationship and contract with the divine. And not everybody pay their bills on time when it comes to the divine. So that's why it goes back to, some people are in the negative. Some people are in debt spiritually. Some people do not have it. Okay, and so that goes back to using your intuition as you're going through the crowd. People who don't have it, you can tell in their conversation they don't have it. People who project their fears, their lack, their insecurities, people project those things onto you. And so you have to think about that. And sometimes these are people that you're dealing with on a personal level. And so it's not a man being jealous of women or women being jealous of men. Sometimes somebody that you're dealing with just realize you're richer than them spiritually. Mentally, they just realize you got more than them. And so it's not even a financial thing. And if they feel like you're not sharing it, or there's not a way that they can have it, they're going to try to take away from that. Which is why you have people who come into your life who try to make you second guess yourself, second guess your power, second guess your strength. They'll question things, sarcasm, all of those things, being condescending. All of those things are things to make you fight with yourself or fight with them or whatever, and it's taken away from your energy when you can be spending your money and your energy in other places. And that's why it's called a distraction. And that's why those are called demons, or however, because they're taking energy that they got. Now you got to think about, if that's your friend or not. You got to think about why they said that, why they said it like that, was they playing or not. All of those things. Anybody who does stuff like that can't be around me, because you're making me think too much, and you're taking me away from my bliss. And instead of building on and manifesting to what I was doing, now I got to think about why you was being slick with me earlier. Now I got to think about why you was talking smart to me, or why, are we even friends? Why she said it like that? If I even got to do all that with you, we not friends, okay? I done spent too much. That's like $2 worth of thoughts. That's too much money I done spent thinking about if we even cool like that, and why I got to second think anything with you. And so anybody you got to second think about that. But like I say, make sure it's coming from a stable place first. And that goes back to that degree in family. Because some of us goes back to the degree in family, don't know how to take, I would say, criticism. All right? Because you weren't criticized properly by family. Family feel like because we're family, they can just say anything to you. So sometimes there are things that needed to be said to a lot of us that just weren't said right, and they weren't delivered right. And so we go through life wrong as hell just because nobody checked us properly. It is a way to check somebody when they're wrong. So this is why your feelings will get hurt even when you're wrong or whatever, because somebody didn't say it right. And there is a right way of saying things. Okay? And then you got some people who went their whole life thinking they was wrong, thinking they were a bad person, thinking negatively of themselves, thinking they were a thief, thinking they were a liar, thinking all these things, thinking they was lazy when they weren't. Right? Because that also goes back to their conditioning from their family. So some people thinking they better than they really are, and some people thinking they worse than they really are, and it's in the conditioning of your family. And so that goes back to their relationships are messed up. Because, if you've never been told you were wrong before, you're going to be a very arrogant, loud person if nobody's ever checked you your whole life, especially from your family. And that means a lot of times either your family was scared of you or whatever, or they was ignorant too, and they didn't know you was wrong either. And so a lot of people go through their whole life wrong and loud and don't know. Okay? And you got to have somebody who really, really loves you to pull it in. Okay? And some of us never had that. And so that's why you'll have a friend, or you'll date somebody and you'll think somebody is hurting your feelings and getting in your ass, and they really loving you and really giving you direction, and you've never had that. Which is why some women get with men and say, he ain't my daddy, he trying to be my daddy. You just ain't being loved right by a man who paying your bills and loving you properly. Same thing with men. You ain't his mama. You don't tell him what to do. He run this shit. But he may not have been around a woman that he trusts. His mama may not have held it down like most mamas do. So he don't really know to trust you, you know, with whatever, or his money, or his you know, his paycheck. Some men do, some men don't. See, some men had a daddy and they watched their father do it, so they just think it's just natural, but sometimes they do that with the wrong woman. Some women never saw their mama manage money or anything, so they don't know nothing about finances because they never saw their mama do it. Some people, all they ever saw their mama do was everything. And so that's why some men are attracted to single women and single mothers, because they was low-key, which a lot of men are, they in love with their mama, and they saw their mama do it, so they love and they're attracted to single women, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then you also see some men, right, who was disrespectful to their mom, that same single mom, right? And so that's why some men see that as a weakness and an opening when they see a single woman, and they see a woman with her children, because some women were raised also by a single woman that they was disrespectful to and took advantage of, and never gave any appreciation to. So they knew that their mama was weak. So some men goes back to, they still in love with their mama, but they attracted to weak women that was also their mama. So it's still going back to their conditioning. So sometimes some people, it really ain't their fault. That's all they ever knew. And if they didn't have a type of mama that was going to correct them, then that's why they you know, they move like that. And then that even goes back to some men, that's all they ever had was a mama ever checking them, a mama that was too hard on them, a mama who never hugged on them and loved on them enough. So that's why you have some men, you know, some men don't like melanated women at all. They like very docile women. We ain't even gonna go there, but some women don't even fool with us. Some men, because of how their mama was, and some men are, once again, attracted to that. They want a woman just like their mama. Their mama didn't take no shit. Their mama ain't played no games. Their mama, you know, laid it out straight, was a straight shooter. It just depends on what kind of man it was and what kind of woman was raising him and what he was taught to be attracted to and what really got him excited as he watched his mother raise him, you know. And so that's why I'm like, some men, you know, whole nother thing. That's a whole nother live. But everybody is different and they saw things different. And that's why people can be brothers or sisters or whatever and be raised in the same house, but they took different things. That goes back to packing your bags. They pack their bags different though. So that's why your sister can be a hoe and you be a good girl. Well, your sister might have collected different things from your mama, you know what I mean? And you decided not to collect that. But also your mama may have had y'all at different times in her life, which is why brothers and sisters behave differently. Because your mama, you know, might have been out there when she had you. She might have been saved by the time she had your sister. You get what I'm saying? So the behavior is different. What you saw your mama do, how you saw your mom or your dad behave, or any of things. You know, the age difference with your siblings and all that goes back to your relationship with your parents and the way you relate to your parents and what you learn from your parents. All of it is different. If you was the oldest, you saw a whole lot more than what the oldest saw. You know, and if you the middle child, you hate everybody. A middle child don't like nobody. But all is well. Everybody's experience is different. So that goes back to, you might have one child who has no friends, and another sibling is very popular and has a lot of friends. But where were you at? You know, and just they were in different places when they were being raised. You get what I mean? So one child might have been more infused with more confidence and the other one wasn't. The other one might have been more sheltered because the other one was out there like that. It's different reasons why we are all different. The point is, how did you pack your bags from your parents? Because at the end of the day, that's what the relationship is going to be like with your wife, with your husband, with your friend, in business, in your career, and all of those things. They reflect that, okay? And so we have to understand that our parents weren't always right, but we also have to understand that our parents weren't always wrong. And we have to understand, I ain't gonna say we have to understand, because this is something some people agree and some people don't, that we choose our parents, or that our children chose us. And so if we chose our parents, damn it, that was you. And you did it for a reason, no matter how horrible they were, no matter how awesome they were. The point is, you chose them for a reason, and you got whatever you were supposed to get from them. Peace and love to Cora. Peace and love, Beja. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love, Nook. Peace and love, Shaquetta. Oh, Shay. I said Shaquetta. Shay. Peace and love, everybody. But if you collect everything you're supposed to collect from your parents, all is well, you guys. And that's why I say explore your roots and really learn about even I always say, even like mental disease, mental illness, and all of that. Always even talking about dependency issues and things like that. You need to know about those things from your family. You need to know why, some people just the smoking, drink, any little things like that, even just eating. Some of those things you got from your family. Your nervousness, the way that you have a mouth fixation and you always have to do things with your mouth. Some of those things even just come from your family. The way you, anxiety issues and all that simply can just come from your mom. And sometimes your family is the one who created it in you in the first place. So it goes back to no different from like diabetes or something. You got type 1 or type 2, with your mind, with the mental issues and all that. Either it's something that's instigated in you or something that you've been doing all along with your own life and your own way you've been taking in and your own experiences has developed your mental, wherever you at with your mind and wherever you at with your spirit. So sometimes it's something you got from your mom and them. Sometimes you developed it on your own. Sometimes you go crazy on your own. You know what I mean? So you have to think about things like that. All is well. But know how to support other people. Know how to be corrected. And that's why I say, even when somebody's criticizing you or giving you some type of direction, make sure that they're in a stable place. So sometimes not everybody's out to hurt you. Not everybody is hating on you. Not everybody is taking away from you. And a lot of us think that too. And that comes back to, because that goes back to you being around your family. Some of your family is hating on you. Your family don't want to see you do well. And so that's why we go get on Facebook and win our ego and talk about everybody want to hate on us. Everybody thinking about you. Okay? You thinking about you. And the thing is, this is my last point I want to make, because it's still going back to that Mercury and Cancer. It's still going back to reflection, and it's still going back to projection. And projection is protection. People project to protect themselves, okay? So at the end of the day, this is still going back to your confidence and things you want to do. And a lot of people are scared to move forward, and that it goes back to thinking they have haters and all of that, because when you were a hater. And that's why when we do well and when we get on ours and we get ours and all that, we always talking about how everybody's going to be hating on us. And that the thing is, why you want somebody to hate on you? Because some people measure their success based off of how many people don't like them or how many people they think is hating on them. You should measure your success based off of how you feel. And because some of us were in lack for so long and we're jealous and hating on other people for so long, that's why we just swear everybody's hating on us when we're doing well. And that's why I say the first people who will ever hate on you are your family. And that's why you think everybody outside of your family is hating on you too, when people might really be clapping for you. But a lot of us don't even know how to be happy with what's going good for us, because it's like I say, as a people, sometimes we measure our success about how many people is mad. When that makes no sense, that we striving for other people to be mad for us to do well, and that shouldn't be a measure of how well you're doing. And that also just lets you know how hurt you've been and how let down you've been and how jealous you have been, which is why you want to see that in somebody else. Everything is reflection. All is well, you guys. I just wanted to say that because that's also a part of the retrograde. Reflecting within ourselves why we feel certain ways, why we have certain things have happened. And not only are you going to reflect inside, situations are going to happen outside of you that's going to make you have to deal with it. It's going to make you see how hungry you are or see how deep your roots are. Because if you don't have deep roots, like I said, you're going to jump at any opportunity to eat, for any opportunity to do anything. You're going to jump at any opportunity to love because you don't have it already. So as soon as somebody say, you want some water? If your water off, you're going to jump wherever the water at. If your lights off, you want to be at whoever house got the lights. So let's turn on your own water, turn on your own lights, have your own utilities of life. Okay, so that nobody is meeting your emergencies. And so really have a strong foundation and have your own home, going on, so that you can welcome people into your life and take care of other people. Because some of us haven't been stable, and like I say, are spiritually homeless, that we looking for other people and looking for other places to stay mentally, physically, and spiritually. We looking for somebody else to cling to, somebody else to lean on. And so you never know your own real freedom. Stand on your square. And I mean, that's the freest place to be. You ain't got to be in one place on your square. That's why I say stand on it, but be free on it. Learn from other people, learn from other foundations, but not be moved and easily moved off of yours. All is well, you guys. Enjoy your retrograde. Remember that it's 4 other planets still retrograded. So it's a lot to go back and get. It's a lot to go back and learn. And it's a lot to help you with your ascension. Peace and love, y'all. Have a good night.